The Clockmaker's Curse. In a small, forgotten town lived an old clockmaker named Elias. He was a master of his craft, known far and wide for his ability to repair and create timepieces that were unlike any other. His workshop was filled with clocks of all sizes, each ticking away in perfect harmony. But there was one clock that no one ever spoke about, a massive, ancient grandfather clock that stood in the darkest corner of his shop untouched for decades. Elias had found the clock years ago, hidden in the ruins of an old mansion that was said to be cursed. Intrigued by its intricate design and the challenge it presented, he took it home. No matter how hard he tried, though he couldn't get it to work, the clock refused to tick, its gears frozen as if time itself had abandoned it. One evening, as Elias worked late in his shop, a strange chill filled the room. The air grew heavy, and the candles flickered wildly from the corner of his eye. He saw the old grandfather clock move. Its hands, which had been still for years, slowly began to turn, first the hour hand, then the minute hand. A low, rhythmic tick-tock echoed through the room, louder than any clock he had ever heard. Elias, both shocked and excited, approached the clock. The closer he got, the louder the ticking became. It was hypnotic, almost pulling him in. He reached out to open the clock's wooden door, but as his hand touched the surface, the ticking stopped. In the sudden silence, Elias heard a faint whisper. "Your time is running out." He froze, heart pounding in his chest. The voice was not his own, nor did it come from anyone in the room. It seemed to emanate from within the clock itself. Shaken but curious, Elias leaned in closer, pressing his ear to the clock's face. The whisper returned louder. "This time, the clock strikes 12, and you will pay." Elias stumbled back, his breath quickening. He looked at the clock's face. It was 1155. The minute hand continued to move, but now with an unnatural speed, inching closer to midnight. His pulse quickened as a sense of dread washed over him. Panicking, Elias tried to stop the clock. He pried open the wooden door, revealing the intricate gears inside. But something was wrong. The gears were turning on their own, faster and faster, as though possessed by an unseen force. No matter what Elias did, the clock wouldn't stop. 1158. The ticking grew louder, reverberating through his head. His hands trembled as he reached for the gears, desperate to make them stop. But as soon as he touched them, a searing pain shot through his body. His skin felt as though it were burning, and he jerked his hand away. 1159. The whispering voices grew louder, overlapping in a maddening chorus. "Your time is running out, your time is running out." The words pounded in his mind louder than the ticking clock. Midnight struck. The chimes of the clock rang out, each one shaking the walls of the workshop. Elias collapsed to the floor, clutching his ears, trying to drown out the sound, but the voices and the chimes were relentless. Then, as suddenly as it began, the noise stopped. Elias slowly opened his eyes. Panting, the shop was eerily silent, the only sound being his own labored breathing. He looked up at the clock. The hands were still. Everything seemed normal until he noticed the reflection in the clock's glass. It wasn't his own. In the reflection, Elias saw a figure gaunt with hollow eyes and skin stretched tightly over its bones. The figure's mouth moved, but no sound came out. Elias's heart stopped as he realized the truth. The reflection was him. His face had changed, his body aged beyond recognition. He scrambled to his feet and rushed to the mirror on the wall. The image staring back was not the man he once knew, but a withered, ancient version of himself. Time had taken its toll. In a panic, he ran to the door of the workshop, but the handle wouldn't turn. He pounded on the door, screaming for help. But no one came. The only response was the soft, rhythmic ticking of the grandfather clock behind him. He turned to face it, fear coursing through his veins. The clock's hands began to move again, backward. This time the whispers returned clearer than before. Time never forgets, and now neither will you. The hands continued to spin faster and faster as Elias felt the years drain from his body. His screams echoed through the empty workshop, but no one heard. By morning the workshop was silent once again, save for the steady tick-tock of the grandfather clock. Elias was gone. Only the clock remained, its hands frozen once more, waiting for the next soul to enter its cursed domain.